Welcome back. Remember that you can find all our top stories on channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also log on to m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. And don't forget to download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and the Channels 24 apps will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. All you need to do is just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu. Follow the instructions you see. A man suspected to be a Boko Haram member and declared wanted by the Nigerian army has now been arrested by the police in Ondo State. Army spokesman Brigadier General Sani Osman, in a statement, says that 42-year-old Idris Ibrahim Babawo, nicknamed Idiko and Nagada, is believed to be on number 165 on the wanted Boko Haram terrorists list. He adds that Babawo has now been handed over to the 32 Brigade 2 Division of the Nigerian Army by the Ondo State Command of the Police yesterday. He adds also that preliminary investigation shows that the suspected terrorist hails from Chinade village in Katagum local government area of Bauchi State, but escaped from the northeast due to the military onslaught on the terrorists. Let's move to humanitarian situation ongoing in the northeast. Cross-border security challenges has been identified as one of the factors responsible for the final resettlement of internally displaced persons in Yobe State. The Permanent Secretary, Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, Mr. Idi Jidawa, seeks improved military operations along southern Yobe and Borno State. Our next report focuses on the situation at the various IDP camps in Yobe.
The internally displaced people in Yobe State are picking up the pieces in the aftermath of their displacement. And according to the Permanent Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, security clearance is the only stumbling block to the return of the remaining IDPs to their hometowns and villages.
The case of the official camp, the challenge has been the issue of the border, cross-border security challenges. But fortunately, recently there are a lot of serious military exercises ongoing at Dambua area. By the time that place is cleansed, I assure you, the people are willing. Government is ready. We'll just immediately move them back.
The state government gives the IDPs various options to help them resettle after their life in the camp. One is to remain as permanent residents in the state, where plots of land and some building material will be provided to them. The other is to return to their towns of origin. This journey, a number of IDPs have already embarked on.
Some IDPs have been living in self-set camps situated in Muhammadu Gombe's farm, Fuguri, Ngarabua, Kukareta, and Abari Yobe Broadcasting Corporation Complex. Others are also still living in different host communities. We are, however, happy that significant number of the IDPs have either returned to their original settlements, making arrangements for return, or resolved to settle permanently in the host communities, as is the case with some IDPs in Kukareta.
Some of the formerly internally displaced people who received building aids from the state appreciate the government's efforts towards their rehabilitation.
Our ancestral homes are rural communities located far in the interior. And with the current situation, it's far better to remain here permanently. Currently, the people in Kaga and Damboa local government areas in Borno are over 8,000, apart from those from Gujba in Yobe, and all these areas are seriously unsafe for settlements. That's why we've asked government for this gesture, and we really thank the Gaidam administration for considering our request.
The government is recording a decrease in the number of IDPs remaining in the camps. Hopefully, in time, these internally displaced persons will all find their way home.
For over 8 years, the northern region of Nigeria has been terrorized by Boko Haram. The group is even responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths, displacement of millions, kidnapping and political turmoil in the area. The present administration, in a bid to rid the country of these insurgents, has carried out numerous attacks to flush the group out. 27 months after, the army has recorded successes in the fight against insurgency. The survivors of this war against terror, the internally displaced people, have been sheltered for most of the time in different camps across Nigeria. Now they are deciding to return to their towns and begin life again. Joining us on the program to discuss the update on the IDP situation in Yobe State, northeast Nigeria, is Mr. Abdullahi Bego. He is the Director of Press to the Yobe State Governor. Thank you very much for joining us on News Across Nigeria.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, talk us through when and how the IDP camps in Yobe State came into existence.
Well, the IDP camps in Yobe State came into existence as a result of the barbarous and senseless activities of Boko Haram when they were attacking some of our local government areas such as Gujuba, Gulani, Damaturu, etc. Many people were displaced. Some left their communities to the IDP camps that have been set up, and some went to live with their relations either in the state or in other parts of the country. That was how we had those camps. Thankfully, only one official camp is remaining now, as the others have been closed down and the IDPs resettled back in their communities.
What are some of the challenges faced in catering to the large number of internally displaced people in the camps and their lifestyle generally? We know how it goes in some of the states, but tell us about Yobe State.
Well, in Yobe State, because of the determination of His Excellency Governor Ibrahim Gaidam, things have been a lot better. For example, when security was restored in most of the areas that were earlier captured by Boko Haram, when the Nigerian security forces drove them away and those IDPs were ready to return to their communities, the Yobe State government provided support to some of those IDPs, money, food items, non-food items, and took them back to those communities. Now, for the IDPs that are still in the camp that is still in existence, the Yobe State government, in collaboration with our partners, and there are so many of them, the federal government, UN agencies, non-governmental organizations, all of us working together to ensure that we provide them the support that they need and that they deserve. And part of that is to ensure that they are fed 3 times a day, they are given medical care in the camp, and water facilities and hygiene, etc. So many of them that are living in the camps right now have left the camps because things have got a lot better, in terms of security. We now have less than 2,000 IDPs in the official camp in Damaturu, the state capital. So generally, because of the support that the government is given, and also because His Excellency Governor Ibrahim Gaidam set up a committee, a high-powered committee, under the leadership of the Deputy Governor, Engineer Bukar Diali, for resettlement reconstruction. That committee is working with all our partners and the federal government to ensure that we have an all-hands-on-deck approach to helping the IDP. So things are a lot better in Yobe State.
Okay, Mr. Bego, you also said some people are returning to begin life again. And I remember the Permanent Secretary in Yobe State also said that a number of IDPs are already returning to rebuild their lives. But if I may ask, what are they returning to? You talk about infrastructure, have provisions been made for schools, proper education and all of that for these returnees?
Yes, actually, it's a work in progress. Because of the destruction that Boko Haram had caused in Yobe State is colossal, and we will take a little longer to rebuild all the services and infrastructure that have been destroyed. But so far, the Yobe State government has gone further along in ensuring that much of the infrastructure that was destroyed was rebuilt. We are building a road a very important road project that links the state capital with the hardest hit areas by Boko Haram, that is Gujuba and Gulani. The committee under His Excellency the Deputy Governor has restored most of the water supplies and sanitation facilities in those areas. And working with our partners, we are providing food, we are providing non-food items, we are providing farm inputs and other resettlement materials. So some of those people who return to their communities can find something to hang on to. But like I say, it's an ongoing thing. But the most important thing is to help them go back to their farms so they can cultivate and they can go back to the normal life again. It's an ongoing process. We are making a lot of progress, but the progress is even going to be more appreciated if the remaining IDPs, those less than 2,000 remaining IDPs in the camp, return to their communities. Because what they are saying is they are okay with the support that they are getting from the government. They are okay with the sanitation facilities.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Abdullahi Bego. We're running out of time already. The Director of Press to the Yobe State Governor, thank you very much for your time on News Across Nigeria. We'll be talking health in just a moment and how Nigeria can make vaccines locally. Please stay with us.